Is Weapons by Zach Kreger a good watch? After Barbarian, I had a feeling Zach's next horror film was going to be something special. And yeah, this one absolutely delivers. Some people are calling it the best movie of the year. At first, I wasn't sure if I'd go that far, but after some thought, yeah, I think it's definitely up there. Hey everybody, welcome back to Good Watch, where we break down movies that stick with you long after the credits roll. Today we're talking about Weapons, Zach Kreger's newest mind-bending horror film, one that manages to be both terrifying and funny, and at the end of the day, surprisingly heartfelt all at once. Weapons feels like one of those movies where you never quite know what's happening until the very end, and even then you're still piecing things together. The story unfolds through shifting perspectives, each one adding a new layer to the mystery. At first, it almost feels like too much is going on. New characters, new settings, new tones. But somehow the film and the script tie it all together beautifully by the third act. It's chaotic in the best way possible. The cast is really what pulls this off. Julia Garner absolutely owns every scene she's in. She brings this balance of fragility and intensity that makes the horror hit harder. Austin Abrams is great too, really grounding his sections with raw, nervous energy. And yes, Thanos himself, Josh Brolin, goes absolutely nuclear here. He's intimidating but also weirdly funny, and it's that perfect mix Kreger loves to play with. Also, shout out to Justin Long for his cameo. It's small, but it's a fun surprise, especially if you're a Barbarian fan like me. I kinda wish he had a bigger role, but I'll take what I could get. Kreger's real talent as a director is how he builds tension without ever losing the sense of humor that made Barbarian so memorable. He knows when to push you to the edge and when to break the tension with something absolutely absurd. There are moments in Weapons that are genuinely hard to watch, not because they're gory, but because they're mostly uncomfortable. The pacing and cinematography make you feel trapped in these terrifying situations. That scene of the character walking out of the door to cut Julia's hair, chilling. Marcus sprinting towards Julia at the gas station, pure panic. Austin seeing the kids in the basement for the first time, nightmare fuel. And that aunt reveal, I'm still not over it. These are the kind of shots that crawl under your skin and stay there. Visually, Weapons is stunning, dark, moody, and dripping with atmosphere. There's a lot of love for classic horror here, especially The Shining, which I noticed. The symmetry, the lingering camera shots, even the way silence is used. You can feel the Kubrick influence in almost every frame. For me, that was a huge plus. I love seeing modern directors channel those old school horror vibes while keeping their own voice intact at the same time. What's really cool about the way Weapons is structured is that it doesn't spoon feed you. Each perspective feels like its own short film, but they all connect in ways that pay off later. It's one of those movies where the less you know going in, the better, because half of the fun is figuring out how it all fits together. It's also surprisingly emotional. Beneath all the horror and chaos, there's this undercurrent about guilt, control, and the violence we inherit. It gives the movie more weight than your typical shock fest. Now, the ending, that's where opinions may split. Kreger's endings are kind of hit or miss depending on your taste. Barbarian ended with a darkly funny twist, and Weapons does something similar. The finale switches tones fast. One minute it's disturbing and haunting, and the next it's flat out ridiculous. And personally, I liked it. It's abrupt, for sure, but it fits the weird rhythm of the movie, I think. It's the kind of ending you'll either love or hate, and I think Kreger's fine with that. If I had to nitpick, which I don't usually like to do unless the movie calls for it, I'd say the movie's ambition sometimes makes it a little uneven. A few storylines could have used more breathing room, but at the same time, that messy energy is part of what makes it work. At its best, Weapons is creative, creepy, and deeply original. It kept my attention from start to finish, and it reminded me why Zach Kreger is an exciting voice in modern horror. So is Weapons by Zach Kreger a good watch? Absolutely. It's intense, unpredictable, and genuinely unique. A horror film that's not afraid to take big swings. Depending on your taste, you may love it or hate it, but either way, it's the kind of movie you'll be thinking about long after it's over. I wouldn't be surprised if it not only ends up being one of the best horror movies of the year, but one of the best movies of the year, period. Thank you for watching so much. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Good Watch for more movie reviews, breakdowns, and deep dives into the films that keep us up at night. Peace out.